Hello, this is Sancho from the Cranial Ambition Show. Our celebrity voices are impersonated by Bang, Caleb, Joe, Jesus, or Miggy. Yes, we keep adding people every time.
Broadcasting from within the Ybor Muda Triangle, live from the Lion's Den at 1704 and a half, yes, a half, East 7th Avenue, Ybor City, Florida. It's the Cranial Emission Show. Welcome your hosts, Ben Charles, Caleb Crispy, and Miguel Hito.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Cranial Emission Show. Ben Charles, Caleb Crispy, the C Squared, the Reverend Joey T, all hanging out here in the Ybor Muda Triangle that is the Lion's Den. As you heard from the lion in the song. It was kind of a dead giveaway.
Well, yeah. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight.
Yeah, I've heard that somewhere before.
I didn't make that up, I don't think.
you might have.
I may have. Sometimes I have those genius moments, but... Whoa.
We're live from the Lion's Den, hanging out here. Nice Friday night here in Tampa, Florida. And you want to be a part of the show, you can do so by calling 813-438-6068. But come on up to the Lion's Den. It's a great cigar bar, good craft beer. You can go and see the fantastic Faith to pour you.
Absolutely.
One of the many craft beers, the Vivacious Faith.
I think that's one of the most, the best parts of coming here.
It is.
And when you think?
No, the staff here is wonderful. They're all very kind.
Very kind.
Very helpful. And you know what? You can get a haircut while you're here, too.
You
got
can.
a barber here.
You can.
Who's actually getting rave reviews around Ybor City, by the way. He is.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
We have a Facebook page for where I live here in Ybor, and they talk about them all the time.
Are they still doing raves down here? I thought those were over.
Raves?
You said he was reviewing raves at his barbershop. Did I misunderstand you? I'm sorry. I didn't get
a little bit.
All right,
Go to cranialmissions.com when you get a chance. Check out the website, Craniacs. Yes, I'm telling you what to do. There's an interactive map there where you can let us know where you're listening from around the world, an international audience that we are quite grateful for. But I'm even more grateful tonight, guys, for the guest that we will have later this evening at 8 o'clock at night. Linda Fay and the rest of her family will be calling us from the Female Paranormal Investigators. We talked in the past, guys, about how, you know how the owners told us that there's some paranormal activity here in the Lion's Den?
Yeah.
It's considered one of the haunted buildings here in Ybor. Don Vicente, another location that's been well known for being haunted and has been on national TV. I think Miggy was here before and claimed that he had
He's
paranormal.
been touched.
Yeah, been touched by an angel.
No, I don't think it was an angel. He thought it was more like an old guy smoking a cigar and tighty whities or something. AC mentioned.
But you know what? We're going to start the show the way we do every single week, guys, and that is with the beer call.
I want you to give me fresh beer.
You serious?
Now! Now! Hey, son, you son of a bitch! It's magical.
It's laughing at me.
I wish I could brush my teeth with it.
I want to put my dick in it.
I wanted to put its dick in me.
I wish it were winter. We could make it into ice blocks and skate on it. And then melt it in the springtime and drink it.
It never gets old, does
No,
it?
it doesn't.
Yeah, I love that. I love that lead-in for the beer call.
And I got one we need to add to that.
Okay.
I got a really good one from early Germs. It was an old L.A. punk band. Really horrible, horrible band. The best part they ever did was the beginning of their live album. He's on stage. His name was Darby Crash. It was his crazy lead singer. He goes, "Waitress, we're the Gems and we want beer." So I'll have to get you. I'll get you a sample of that. We'll have to add that bad boy on there. That'd be nice.
Absolutely. That'd be cool. What are we drinking here, Ben?
Well, we're starting out today. You know, I was driving around. I was actually trying to find some headphones for the show. Word of advice, don't ever go to Best Buy for headphones. You think it'd be a good idea?
Well, yeah, I would think that would be a hot spot.
Wasn't worth the drive, let me tell you. But what was worth the drive was across the street was Total Wine, one of my favorite places to buy.
That's a great place.
Oh, I mean, you can find anything and everything. And boy, did I find some things. I actually found the first one we're drinking here is the Ommegang Triple Perfection. The ABV on this, guys, I'm trying to read this. My eyes are going to
Probably
shit
high.
here.
Yeah, you got your reading glasses there, old man?
I need them, I think. The ABV on this is like 8%. I remember reading it from earlier. I can't actually see it right now, but it is like 8%.
Let me see it.
So it's slightly it's high test.
It's a Belgian.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll give this one a swig.
8.9.
This is tasty.
That's good.
This is a lot like one of our favorite beers, Joe.
Yeah, it has a Le Fin du Monde taste to it.
I was gonna guess.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, man. But yeah, this
He did have his hand raised.
it has a little bit of that winey champagne-y taste, aftertaste to it. Yeah, absolutely.
So this is a good one. I'm gonna, let me go ahead. Why don't you guys stall while I pour the sample of the other beer here?
Okay, well, so how's your fantasy football team doing, Caleb?
I don't play.
Oh, well, that stalling didn't last
So
well
they're
at all.
either. Well, I always joke around. My real life sucks bad enough. I don't want my fantasy life to suck too.
You know, we tried something here on the Cradle Mission Show. We never got it going. We wanted to do a reality football league where instead of, giving people points for touchdowns and stuff, which is fantasy football league.
Yeah.
What we wanted to do was everybody picks teams, and whoever gets suspended, they get points for suspensions, arrests, murders, and so forth.
I did read an interesting fact. September was a record month for the NFL. They had no arrests.
None?
None.
Wow.
I know. It's pretty impressive.
That is. I mean, that's unbelievable. We used to do. That's actually how the original Police Spot episode or segment started on the show. It was all due to NFL and college players.
You're right. It was all sports related
Yeah, it was
back
the
then.
beginning. Yeah,
That was back when the show was a lot more sports
and it was
heavy.
really easy to do. I mean, it was like you get like 6 a week. I was like, man, I don't even got to look this shit up.
Yeah, really. It just falls in your lap.
Well, the
Right
second beer we're going with, guys. By the way, good job of stalling. The second beer that we're going with, Stone Brewing, who we've had many beers from in the past, always been good. Well, this one was a bit of a reach. I'm not sure what to expect with this. But this is, you remember Monty Python, the Holy Grail?
Oh, yeah.
Remember the French would taunt King Arthur?
5?
And one of the
three, sir.
I fought in your general direction.
No,
Right.
3, sir.
Well, one of the things he said is your father smelt of elderberries.
Yes, I
and that's
remember.
what this beer is called.
Okay, your father smells of smelt or smells?
Smelt.
Smelt, like
of
the fish.
elderberries, like the fish.
Okay.
And this one is like 10.3%.
Oh, this is
You don't
an ass kicker.
You don't feel it. It's very smooth.
I'm actually pleasantly surprised by this beer. I
Yeah.
was a little scared of this one.
Generally, when I see berry in a beer, I'm like, yeah. I think it's something to do with like strawberry shortcake, and I don't want nothing to do with it, dude. I'm like, elderberry, wasn't that the mean sister on strawberry shortcake or something?
It's got the slight berry taste to it.
She was the elderberry?
Yeah, she was mean too.
Was she the oldest sister?
She
The
was,
elder?
and she was always like had a stick up her ass and was like, "Oh, we can't do that strawberry shortcake. We got to be good."
I thought this beer was going to be a taste bud wrecker. But it's actually,
Not at all.
It's actually decent. And
No, I like it. I actually think I like it better than the first one.
once again, Stone Brewing.
Dude, I visited Stone Brewing.
That's right. When you were in Portland.
Well,
right?
there's more than one. They have like I didn't go to like probably the main one, but I went to one. I believe it was in Bend, Oregon. I don't know. It was a very long week and a lot of beer, so it could have been anywhere between Oregon, Portland, and Bend, somewhere in that.
Someone there?
Somewhere in that vicinity.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's one state. You know.
Yeah, that counts.
If you take the size of the Earth, I pretty much narrowed it down.
Never ambiguous, are you, Jim?
Never. I like to be exact.
Well, speaking of one state, here in our great state of Florida, over in Orlando area, University of Central Florida, their fans are going through a tough season right now. They're 3-0. They lost their home opener against Florida International.
You mean 0-3?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay.
Good catch.
I was convinced. No, I'm not trying to point out your mistakes. I was just, I just was confused for a minute.
No. Thanks for correcting me there.
For a guy that's not one to be specific, all of a sudden you were.
Once in a while, the inner lawyer comes out. I'm like, whoa, fact check.
Objection.
Where's Mark? Yeah, they're having a real tough season so far, and then basically they're just not going to have a good year. It doesn't look like. So there's a bar in Orlando. It's called The Basement, and they are giving away free beer during UCF games.
Wow.
If you come to watch the game until UCF wins.
Okay.
So,
That's,
you know, I as an Orlando person, if I was in Orlando, I'd be torn. I would want them to win, but at the same time, I would enjoy the free beer.
Now, this could be very costly because UCF, one of the largest campuses in the entire state.
in the country.
In the country,
I mean,
yeah,
it's in the top.
it's huge. It's like 30,000 plus, right?
Oh, it's in the 50, I think.
Oh,
now.
is it now? Yeah. Wow. And I mean, they keep building and building down
Yeah,
there.
they got a brand new stadium, I think, a couple years old, right?
Yeah, and of course, these NCAA stadiums, you can't drink in them.
Oh, I know.
So they're going to flock there to watch the game. But it's curious to me. First of all, it's called the basement. And in Florida, usually what we call a basement is a swimming pool. And then I'm thinking to myself, with that kind of student body, this could get expensive for that bar.
59,770 as of 2013.
So you got a lot of
60,000.
cats that are going to be frustrated and thirsty down there.
Well, there's a fire marshal. They can only let a certain amount of people in the establishment.
Yeah.
You're not getting 59,000 into the basement.
But is there a cap on? Well, first of all, I'm assuming these are designated beers.
That's what I was going to say. It's
I'm
got to be
sure.
Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Yeah.
Or, it's
I'm
keg
sure.
beer. So they're probably blowing $50 a keg, handing out. There's 212 12-ounce beers in a 15.5 gallon keg of Pabst Blue Ribbon. So
It's Coors or Yingling, actually.
oh, it is really.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, so Yingling's about $80. So.
Starting at kickoff and ending at the final whistle.
But you know what they also do when they do stuff like this? They only put like 2 waitresses on staff.
Yeah, so you can't get any.
So yeah, do you want to wait like 30 minutes and only 2 per customer?
It says there's no caveats. There's no food purchase minimum or anything like that. It's just free beer until the team wins.
And 1 waitress, and she's 65.
One waitress.
And she's like 65 and drives a bus in the morning before she comes in there, so she's really tired. And
Yeah,
she's like,
it's-
I can't keep up with you people.
It's elderberry, right? Isn't the waitress elderberry?
Yeah, she's the elderberry. She is of UCF.
Well, you got both of you have bar experience. Both of you have worked
Yes.
behind bars.
Yep.
Joe and Caleb, and
I've
Well-
slept under bars. I've done a lot of bar stuff. Yeah.
you've worked at bars where dudes slept under your bar.
No. I've slept underneath the bar where I worked before.
Yeah, but that when you used to work at Jimmy Mac's, didn't they have the dude that used to?
No, he died under the bar. Oh no, you're right. The story about the guy who slept underneath the house.
Yeah, tell a story again.
This is a great story, man. They he actually died there. There was 2 houses that comprised Jimmy Mac's. One was on the caddy corner from it, and the owner, I guess somebody was getting rid of it, but it was it'd been built like in the 20s.
And
so.
this was a landmark burger joint in South Tampa.
Yeah. I mean, it's torn down since, but so they took this other building from across the street, which, from what I understand, speaking of ghosts, this used to be a like kids' home for like crazy kids. And they moved it up because there was a bunch of like ghost sightings in this all the time. I'd never seen one, but so they moved it over. But because it had been moved over, it had a crawl space underneath it and had a fireplace. Well, the fireplace obviously wasn't connected to anything underneath anymore. Usually, there's a bunch of blocks underneath that the ashes can go down. You clean them out underneath. Well, all they did was lay slate across the hole in the floor, and that was it. It was a non-usable fireplace, but they connected these 2 buildings. Well, one day we're having this god-awful smell coming from underneath the bathroom. And being an old building, your first instinct is, all right, it's the shitter's not working anymore, right? We got to go in there and fix this thing. So, no, the owner sends his son underneath there and finds a dead bum underneath there.
Oh, wow.
But the funny part about the dead bum is there was probably, from what he told me, about 300 empty bottles of liquor underneath the bar with him. So he's like laying amongst his empty bottles. What the guy had figured out was that he could push these pieces of slate up
and sneak in,
crawl in, but everything else was locked, so all he could reach was the well. So you know how many people probably got fired during his tenure of stealing beer there? Because, dude, we had 4 full well drinks in here. Where'd all the vodka go? You're fired. You're out of here. We know you're stealing. But yeah, the bum finally got all the booze he could ever not afford prior to that, and now he just drank himself to death. Yep. 2 people died in there. A biker died while I worked there too.
Wasn't
while I was
that
serving him.
the same place where?
While you were serving him?
Yep, dead.
Wasn't there the same place where there was a roach or something with the food?
Oh yeah, dude. This was I was the bar manager, and I'm walking, and we had those, one door come in, one door go out of the. And as I'm walking into the kitchen to pick up some food, I noticed a waitress going to the floor, and we would put most of our food came in one of those small like baskets with the paper on top of it, so they would reuse the baskets. You throw the paper out. Well, she's carrying this big, nice tray of nachos. I swear to you, it was the funniest thing I've ever seen. There's a roach hanging from the bottom of, like, 2 arms trying to do a pull-up into the nachos, dude. He's like, I'm getting up in that thing before I go. So I literally body checked her on the way to her table to make her knock it and drop it on the floor, and she was all like, what? I was like, dude, you literally had a roach. Like, I mean, it was a palmetto,
wow,
inch plus, doing pull-ups on the bottom of your nacho tray. And it was an old building. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Ugh. There wasn't. It's funny because I led in with the whole bar thing that lead into a story, how you both worked at a bar, and it winds up turning into some interesting stuff from your past. But you guys understand, as bartenders, the efficiency or often inefficiency when you go to use kegs and when you go to use
Oh,
taps, right? And what would you guys estimate from your experience